New World is officially dead. It has been put on maintenance mode. There will no longer be any content made for it. Servers will still be up at the very least until the end of 2026, but after that, not even they know what's gonna happen to it. And I'm not gonna lie, after the resurgence of New World with the new season, it was pretty heartbreaking to see this happen. Finally, the game was going back, people were playing it, people were happy with it, and of course this happened. I don't know, man, it's tragic. And the worst part is that in the latest expansion, they left this note, a love letter to all adventurers. We were there when you first found Thorpe in the Forsaken Grove after dragging yourself across a foreign beach. We were there when you found out about your first settlement and explored its charms and denizens. We were there when you fought pirates, tigers, corrupted ghosts, and all manners of hazards across the land. We were there when you set foot on forsaken sand filled with lost secrets and hidden dangers. We were there when you discovered the untamed wilds filled with beasts and verdant jungles. We were there when you crept into the dark heart of lands filled with opulence, madness, and terror. Through it all, we watched, we delighted, we reveled in your enjoyment of every perfect moment, every carefully crafted story, and we even bore witness to the joining of two souls who met here in Eternum. We did it all for you, dear adventurer. Thank you for so many amazing stories, triumphs, and fits of laughter. We raise a glass to our fallen comrades. Divya, Sean, Calvin, Aaron, good luck and good night. Originally, I thought this was about the layoffs. Saying goodbye to everybody, knowing that something bad was going to happen. And maybe there's a little bit of that. Maybe some preemptive goodbye just in case. But it was about them saying how much they love the game, how much they love doing it for us, and to remember people that they work with that are no longer here. And in some ways, it makes it so much more sad. So all of this effort is now lost because of Amazon canceling the game. Of course, it's never lost, as we did enjoy the game. I think we're all very, very grateful for all they did, but it's still bittersweet. I'm not gonna lie, when I saw that, when I read that for the first time, I kind of teared up. Even though I haven't been playing this game for too long, it's so obvious how much the devs really care about this game. And when you see what they've done through the years, it's so clear how much effort they put into so this wouldn't happen. After the insanely bad launch of New World, they developed an entire expansion, Brimstone Sands, for free. They gave it away for free. All this content, this new zone, the Salt Trials, the raid, everything about it was just so filled of love, effort, and passion. And they did it for the community to say, hey guys, look, we care. Yes, the launch was a mistake. Yes, we made a lot of bad design decisions, but here we are, and we're going. Then they did new seasons in between expansions to keep people playing the game. And after that, did the next expansion, Rise of the Angry Earth. And even though this did okay, it was probably not what they were expecting, especially because they were finally making some money, actually asking money for this expansion, and well, considering what happened next, it wasn't enough. Players didn't get any content for months, all in preparation for the re-release of New World in consoles, completely rebranded as not an MMORPG anymore, but as an action RPG. For consoles, more of a single-player game. And at the time, I thought it was very weird that they did this. It didn't make any sense. But looking at some of these articles now, yeah, it does make sense. Just a month ago, the same person making these changes and layoffs to everybody in Amazon said this. Over the last several months, we've been evaluating and go-forward plans. We've also taken a critical look at the evolving dynamics of game industry and the competitive landscape. While we're proud of our successes in the first AAA game development and publishing, we have made the difficult decision to halt a significant amount of our first-party AAA games development work, especially around MMOs. If you were to trace the arc of what we released and what we've done now, announced from our game studio, it would actually point in this direction. So what started out in a massively multiplayer games, MMOs, were really widened the aperture, if you will. The MMOs, those are really PC games. We launched New World on consoles about a year ago and it's done really well, but those games are their core appeal to the hardest core PC gamers. We want to focus more on console-friendly titles. This is obviously speculation, but what I think happened is that the New World team knew that the Amazon executives wanted more console titles, less hardcore PC games. So they tried to rebrand, make it a console game, make it a more single-player experience. So the executives could be like, oh, wait, okay, we can still have this game as we can have it as our new reconstructing. That's what New World Eternum existed. This is why in their main website, it still says Experience Thrilling Action RPG. This is an MMO, okay? You can't fool people with that. But they did it because they knew that otherwise their game that they loved and they wanted to continue working on would not survive. And sadly, it wasn't enough. They kept doing some seasons, preparing for the next one at Nighthaven with all the money they got from Eternum, I'm guessing. So they made the best expansion they could ever do. And not only did they do it, but they called it a season. So they could give it away for free for everyone. So everybody could experience the best New World could ever be. But even after the resurgence of New World, finally, Amazon decides to give up and squander the best expansion the game has ever had out of nowhere. At the end of the day, I not only feel sad about us as players, the people who loved this game, the people who were just coming back to the game like me, who didn't really spend a lot of time here, but also about the people who, man, they really cared, put so much effort into it, and they got laid off by people who really, let's be real guys, don't know what they're doing. It's not like Amazon has been doing the best decisions in gaming throughout these years, but to move away, finally, after they are making some strides in the gaming industry, in a game they made, just giving up, it reeks of, well, we don't really know what we're doing, we just want our money back. I mean, guys, look, they just reached Courtroom Chaos, starring Snoop Dogg. How could they do bad? And in some ways, I don't blame them too much. New World has not made a lot of money. I mean, how could they? They made almost everything for free, and I'm sure that didn't help. But this was the time to double down. Maybe not the earlier years when they were struggling, but this was finally the moment where the game was actually putting itself in the MMORPG genre, making a name for itself, making it differentiate itself from other MMOs. There's truly no MMO like New World right now. I had a lot of people come into my Twitch, ask me, hey, what other MMO can I try out? Can I play Guild Wars 2 as I was playing that for the new expansion? And yeah, sure, you can, but it's very different. And realistically, there's nothing like this. And that is a very big advantage for an MMORPG. But Amazon just wants to work on Luna, their cloud gaming service, to develop games for it that are way safer, that will make money for them, and then put everybody from Amazon Prime into the service. All right, and making casual AI slop games. They also want to do that. They are still developing the Lord of the Rings MMO, but in this little post, they make it sound like it's no longer an MMO. What started in our massively multiplayer games, MMOs, were really widening up the aperture, if you will. And so, you've seen announcements for things like King of Meat, Tomb Raider, and our upcoming driving game. Lord of the Rings, and kind of moving more into the direction of what I could call console-friendly titles. Non-IPs or known play patterns. The MMOs, those are really PC games. We launched New World on consoles about a year ago, and it's done really well, but those games at their core appeal to the hardest core PC gamers. So yeah, the Lord of the Rings game seems like it's still gonna be here. It's kind of hard to tell, as a lot of the people that got laid off was for the same part of Amazon that was working in the Lord of the Rings MMO. So I guess we're gonna need a confirmation for this. But honestly, would I really put a lot of hope into that, considering how they're talking about MMOs? Probably not. If they do release it, it's probably going to be a shell of what it was, and it's probably not going to be anything like an MMO. And can New World come back? I mean, I guess. Definitely not from Amazon. They are done with this. I guess it could be acquired by another company, but how many good companies exist in the MMORPG genre that would not only acquire something so big as New World, but also wouldn't be horrible for a game like this? Yeah, I don't want New World to die, but I also don't want it to be acquired by Gamigo and make it a pay-to-win slop game. Maybe someone could make a private server for New World, which would be kind of fun, but those games are really weird, and you definitely could play New World this way for the real fans, and I kind of hope it does, but it really wouldn't be the same. Realistically, this is kind of the end, and the only thing that I can think of is I'm glad that at the very least I had so much fun in the past few weeks. I was thinking about not playing the game because I was like, giving another chance to this game, it's gonna be a waste of time. But I'm so happy I did, because I really had such a different MMORPG experience to what I've ever had before. And if you haven't played it and you still want to try it, I think there's still gonna be people playing until a few weeks at the very least, so you can experience what the game was a little bit. I'm sure there's gonna be still people who play it. This is a pretty sandboxy game, but yeah, it is what it is. I sent my best wishes to everybody that got laid off, and they can get some good new jobs and don't end up in a company that treats them so poorly. Yes, New World had a lot of issues. Yes, probably didn't make a lot of money. And yes, I guess you could argue that this makes sense in a business perspective, considering how unsuccessful New World has been throughout the years. But sometimes other things are more important, I think. If you need some help picking another MMO, you can definitely go to my Twitch and I'll try and help you through this. I will not be leaning into one game or the other. At the end of the day, there's not really an MMO like New World, but if you need help, I'll try to do my best. And if you don't want to play MMOs ever again, I also completely understand, and I wouldn't blame you for it. Regardless, that's all I can say about this. Thank you very much for watching, guys. See you around. Bye-bye.